Okay, yes, Executive Omaru, go ahead.
Seasonal greeting, everyone, and good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, regarding the business idea validation course, I have three questions.
Yes,
I don't
please.
know, should I go ahead with them all or
Yes, go one
just take
after
one?
another. Go one after another.
Okay. Regarding the lean startup process,
Yes.
we know there are three parts of the lean process itself.
Yes.
Now, some businesses or some products you can't actually measure it. So can you skip the measure part and just learn and you build?
Yeah. No, if there is a place for learning, there's a place for measuring actually. You know, some yes,
Okay,
because
let me put it in a practical aspect
yes,
then.
yes,
Now, for example, a client has come to you that he wants the design of a residential building or whatever.
yes,
Now, the feasibility study, I will term that as a learning that
yes,
I would do the inquiry and all that.
yes,
Now, you can't actually measure that product.
yes.
It
By
is
building
actually
small, right?
during, yeah,
Yes,
by building small.
yes, yes, very true. Again, and that is why, like in your model, you know
Mhm.
that is what prompted the use of 3D technology in the building industry. Was a
Yeah,
question like that because people wanted to have, like if you look at in Cameroon, traditional building engineers or civil engineers, they still just do just plans, right? Those big papers that they have. But
exactly.
in country like maybe where you are right now, if you really want to be a top-notch building engineer, you should be able to create the house in a 3D format in a way that somebody can see in your computer. You can,
Visual reality.
yes, visual reality, right? So that this is your question. That is what prompted other civil engineers in developed countries to start seeing how they can leverage 3D and the other technology to show people that this is what you may likely get when the job is done, and from there the clients can get to measure. You get a point? Like that's why people like you are in the kind of real estate, they get to do a lot of presentations to the clients before they go into actually building. And these presentations are mostly in the form of, it can be a PowerPoint that has 3D pictures of the potential house, or a 3D video that portrays that. So in that particular dimension, that can be the measuring, because there's a slight foretaste of the client understanding that this is how it may look like, right? And that eliminates some fears in the mind of the clients. That eliminates some uncertainties that the client, like, how will the house really look like? Because that 3D contains the real color of the house, contains the rooms, contains all of these things that are very feasible that they can see and then make up their final buying decision. And that's why, just to add, some business models right now, for them to remain sustainable and consistently solve the client's problem, they need to learn how to leverage on new technologies that can increase the chances of clients having a good experience before consuming the final product.
So this aspect of measuring is customer based.
Yes, the aspect of measure, like in this particular case, now it depends on the business, on the type of business, right? Now, in this particular case, who determines how the final product looks like is the customer, right? Not really you, the person building, right? Because the customer can say, okay, I want a 3-room house, I want this kind of house. They're telling you what they want. But in other products, where you are the one doing the conception, the designing, the building before you are taken to the market to convince people to buy. You see the difference now, right?
Oh,
Yes, in real estate, like what you're saying, the client already brings what they want. Some even bring you sample of pictures of the house that they like, right?
yeah.
Good. So it's them now bringing it. But if it's a case whereby Okay, let's say like in your, let's say that you want to build a hostel in Boya, for example. Now that now is totally different from you building a house for a client who comes to you. You get a different concept. Now you are the one who's going to decide, okay, what kind of hostel would you like to build? How many rooms? What's the size? What are the colors you're going to use? What kind of style you want to put on the hostel? And what kind of students you like to live in your hostel? And with that now, you can decide and go to a city like Molik in Koya and just interview some students. Okay, tell me, what kind of hostels would you like to pay and for how much you like to pay? Would you like an apartment hostel? Would you like a studio hostel? We like a hostel that comes with already furnished chairs and television, and you just pay a salary, you just pay a monthly rent without bringing anything from your father's house in the hostel. Now, that is you now learning and measuring. And while you're asking them questions on the street, you can bring your laptop and you play the 3D version of the building that you want to build, right? So that is you that you have done the learning and the measuring before you now venture into building full-fledged the hostel.
That's right.
Good, awesome.
Okay, the next question.
Yes.
Now, what level of idea validation can one say, okay, at this point I'm satisfied, or I see prospects in launching or kickstarting this particular product or business?
Please take that over again.
I said, at what level of idea validation can one say, okay, this product is feasible, or I'm satisfied, I can now willfully or kickstart the project?
Yeah. Okay. There are actually many things that can determine that, and again, it also depends on the type of the idea that you have at hand. For some ideas, it can just be one thing. Maybe you actually go to the field and you actually ascertain that yes, this problem actually exists in the field. People have confessed to you in the field that they're going through this problem, and if they see a product like this or a service like this that can solve their problem, they are going to buy, right? For you, you can sit and add, okay, you know what? Let me try to go to the National Institute of Statistics and get the statistics to understand the size of the market. How many thousands or millions of people in this market actually have this problem? And when you ascertain that there's a large market for the product, maybe you can decide and continue, right? Or you can say, okay, you know what? Let me try to do a research on the income level of the target market to understand if this target market actually has the amount of money to pay for this particular product. So, but it is always recommended that in idea validation, don't leave any stone unturned. That's why the idea validation course has all of those core questions to go through. From my experience of using that particular model with clients and from my own businesses, when I go through all of that process with any product or company and it's validated, the product always succeeds in the market. So than leaving some questions and not doing the part, because business is not good to do of guesswork in business. Number one, especially one that you're going to invest a lot of money, right? Even if there are things that you want to assume that they're right, still make sure that you ascertain with data. So I would recommend that complete the whole process with all those questions if you can, about 80% to 100% of them, complete them, so that don't leave anything unturned, and you are venturing into that company or into that business or launching that product with complete certainty that it is going to succeed in the market because of the following reason, this, and this.
Actually,
yes, go ahead.
The part B of this question is, for example, I'm launching a product.
Yes.
I'm in the process of doing my idea validation. There is already a company B having that similar product.
Yeah.
Is it logical to assess that company B and just keep past some other questions and you validate things that you think they are not doing and you kickstart your project? Or that would be like rushing to kickstart something?
No. I don't think there's any rushing, because if you are launching it based on the fact that you have the resources and the skills to build a product and launch, right? If you are able to ascertain this, because it's different when you are trying to hurriedly build and launch the product because you want to compete. And meanwhile, you are doing that way, you don't have the right employees, don't have the right amount of money to compete and all of that. But if you have all of this ready, you can decide and assess. You can decide and assess your competition just to see the gaps that they are leaving in the market, which you can take advantage of, right? Again, as I said, I don't know, I shared in the group, if you want to reduce depression in business, always focus on satisfying your customers and increasing access to what you sell to customers instead of focusing on competition. And if you are focusing on competition, don't focus a lot on what they're doing better than you. Focus a lot on the gaps that they are leaving in the market that your business or your product can fill the gap and take advantage of that particular customer that are neglected. You get a point?
Important part of idea validation.
Yes, it is. Because one good thing is that competitors can help you validate that this idea is going to succeed. I think it's around question number, then almost second to the last questions, if that's for idea validation. Because if you are launching a product that is very new and you are doubting it's going to work, you can see a similar product in the market already, maybe by just one competition, and it can give you confidence that, oh, if this company can be able to do this and succeed like this, then I can also succeed. So competition can prove to you that there is a need for what you're designing. Competition can also tell you that, look, there's a need for what you're designing, but the companies already in that market are not able to fulfill the needs of the target market because maybe they have limited capital to actually create the value and supply the large market. It's like Nigeria, right? You know that like in Nigeria, for example, products are always in short demand because the population is too much, right? Population is too much. So if you're looking at competition in Nigeria, you lose a lot of money, but focus, there's a large market in it. So competition has a lot of advantages, and I always say it has more advantages than disadvantages to you launching any product. Because you can only learn from them and do better than them because you're going to learn from their mistakes. You're going to learn from what they're doing well and what they're not doing well. You're going to understand the gaps that they've left in the market and you take advantage of them. You're going to understand the market that they have not penetrated and you got there first before them. Right? So it competition is another advantage for you to validate your idea and decide what, what to do or not to do. Yes, please.
Said there was a sentence that said validating your business idea helps you identify whether your vision will succeed in the target market in the real world.
Yes.
Now, as a business person or an individual, should your business idea be oriented towards your individual vision? And if your individual vision is imaginary, does that mean that the business idea validation will certainly not be valid or in the real world?
Okay, very, very, very good question. The two works actually. You can build a business from your passion. You can build the business from your pain. You understand? Which again, but as I always say, because you go through something doesn't mean that everybody's going through that thing. And the only way you can ascertain if people are going through that thing is for you to go and do research and validate that whatever you're feeling is real in the market. You understand? Like, for example, there are people that they went and they studied medicine to become medical doctors and set up clinics or hospitals because their mom died of cancer or because their dad died of this. That's my personal reason. But that personal reason now is also linked to a market challenge. Why? Because people in the society have health challenges. You get the point? So the aim is for you, yes, your passions are important. Your personal pains is important. Your personal realities are important, but it is your job to make sure that you take it to the market and ascertain these challenges I'm facing, these realities I'm facing, is it the same thing in the marketplace? And when you validate that and you're able to ascertain that there is this problem in the society, in the marketplace. Number two, there is a large market. There is a large number of people that are going through this particular problem. Then that makes your personal passion or mission or challenges that you can turn it now and build a business model around it, turn it to an institution or a business, and start making money while solving the problem in the society. So yes, it's possible for you to do that from a personal perspective, but it's your job to convert it into a real business by doing the market research, establishing the business model, doing the idea validation, creating the right products packages, and launching it into the market.
Thank you so much.
Awesome.
I have another question, but maybe will come later because
Okay.
it's outside the courses.
Okay, all right. We'll come to that then. After Anadette, there's no question we'll answer. Yes, Anadette, go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, executives. Yeah, my question is under idea validation.
Yes.
Yes, I have this idea is from an existing market.
Okay.
It's already in the market.
Yeah.
So I wish to ask if I have to validate that idea again, or I just focus on improving what I feel that is not working well.
Okay, it's already in the market. Is it in the market by you or by another person?
I'm working on that them already, so I want to develop something from it and then do it my own way.
Okay. Okay. You still need to validate because of a couple of reasons. Number one is you don't know the kind of skills, the kind of money resources or equipments they really use to validate. But still you want to do it on your own. Because one thing about idea validation is that it helps to open your mind to see if you have the required resources, from human resources to financial resources, to execute the idea. Or it helps to know on how to start executing the idea from a small level or a lean level to a big level, right? And number two, since it's already in the market, you may like to start in a new market. Let's say, for example, maybe where you're working, they're doing it only, let's say, in Oya, or they're doing only in Douala in Cameroon, and you want to go and do it in Lagos in Nigeria, or do it in a new town, a new city. The behavior of the target market is different. The society, the size of the market is different. Government policies are different, all of that. So it's good for you to still validate and have your own version of the truth, have your own data, discover your own facts. You get a point? Because if you depend on somebody's facts, they may have decided that, I'm going to start 1,000 pieces of whatever they want to produce. Meanwhile, they had the capital to do that. But maybe you just have just little capital, you cannot do 1,000 pieces. So it's good to do that. You redo the whole process. And trust me, your own idea validation will be more powerful and more specific and increase your chances of success because you are doing it from a place of experience, from a place of exposure, from a place of practice. You understand? So you have a higher chance of insect succeeding when you're able to merge experience, practice, and proven data from idea validation before you launch your business. Then you have a higher chance of making it in that business better than anybody who's doing it for the first time and is trying to validate the idea. Okay? So I would strongly recommend you to do that. And also when you're doing that, you're launching with full confidence because you have your own data, you have your own opinions and truth that you have discovered, and you're sure that this can work based on what you have seen in your own market that you want to target, and based on what you have experienced as an employee in the competition company. All right.
Thank you, sir.
Good. Yes, Marcellus. Can you unmute yourself in case you're talking, Marcellus?
Okay, good evening, doctor.
Good evening.
So I wanted to find the differences between idea validation with the business model Canva coupled with the product development
Okay.
because they kind of like confused.
Okay, as you have listed like that, that is a recommended process before you do anything. You need, when you have an idea, validate it first. Then you use the data, the information from the idea validation. You now complete your business model canvas. Because your business model canvas, like you establish that, okay, this is how I'm going to operate this business. You understand? And then with your business, you can now use information from your idea validation and you can design the product itself. You get a process? I hope you get a process, Marcellus, because you cannot do product development without idea validation. You'll be designing the product from the place of guesswork. And also you cannot do a complete business model canvas without idea validation. You cannot do you cannot complete a business model canvas without you having a product. And sometimes when you're doing a business model canvas, you will discover that you may need to improve the product in one way or the other. Okay, so all are important, but the foundation is the idea validation. Product development and business model canvas will all be assumptions that are not tangible without idea validation. Okay, and it's possible to work on product development and business model canvas at the same time. And one thing with the business model is that you always keep perfecting it. Even as the business is already operating, you keep on perfecting the business model canvas. Understood? How you got me?
Yes,
okay. Yes, questions, people. Very interesting questions. Yes, Executive Umaru, go ahead. If you still have a question, there's no hand up.
Yeah, hello?
Yes, sir, go ahead.
Yeah, my question, the question now is about partnership.
Yes.
Now, for example, you have already done your ideal validation and things like that. You have launched your product. Mm-hmm. Now, a company is coming to partner with you for a particular product.
Yes.
Is it logical to see how their conception of that product, you get into their structure to see if they did ideal validation, or you just continue with them based on the ideal validation of that particular product you people are partnering?
Well,
would they fail you if you guys just partner without you considering their idea validation, their marketing strategy, and all that?
Yeah, very good question about partnership. The truth is that if you have a partner who wants to know that, that's a very good partner. Or if you are the investor or the partner, I strongly recommend you to know that, because you invest money in something so they can bring you returns, right? So why should you put money in something that you are not sure of the operations, the execution, the whatever? You get the point? So yes, I strongly recommend you to follow that up and ask those questions. That's why if you watch like all these investment programs like the Shark Tank and all of these investors and programs, one of the most important things that investors try to pay attention to includes the team. Who are the people behind this company and the idea? What are their skills? What are the skills that they possess? What are the results that they have been able to achieve? And they like to ask you, how do you make money? What is your process of production? What is your process of delivering value to customers and so on? So yes, if you are venturing into a partnership and you are the one to give money, one of the best ways to secure your investment is for you to make sure that the business is being managed the right way. So yes, you can ask to be sure, this idea like this, want me to put money in, is it a good idea? Does this idea have a future? Will this idea go places? What will make this idea successful in the next 10 years? It's your job to ask that. And if they cannot provide convincing answers that can convince you as a partner or investor, just back out. Back out. Because they're not putting in a couple of millions in the business and 3 months, 6 months, 8 months after, they're telling you that they're facing difficulties and the idea is failing. So yes, do that. Okay.
Thank you.
Marcelo, is your hand still up or is it the old hand that was up?
No, it's a new one.
Yes, ask your question, then we'll
Okay.
go to Luanga.
So I have a question concerning idea validation.
Yes.
And while going through the video, the one whereby we're saying like before you go into the market with a product or a service, you need to
Yes.
know your team. Okay, take for instance now that you are not that very viable and you need investors to come on board. What percentage do you allocate if they want to buy equity or shares?
Okay, please take that question again. Your network was breaking.
Okay, this is a question I had. So, while going through the idea validation presentation, there's a section where we talked about teams.
Yes.
Now, take for instance that you're just starting and there's someone who is interested in your product or service
Yes.
and wants to be an investor.
Yeah.
What advice do you give, like for equity and shares, like the division?
Okay. There are a couple of things that determine the how to divide the equity or the percentage to give to who and so on and so forth. And one of the major things to consider is what is the total amount needed to make the idea to work? And from that total amount, who is bringing how much? They can calculate the percentages from there. You understand? Let's say, for example, you need 10 million francs to make the idea to work. And somebody comes to invest or partner and they bring in 8 million and you have just 2 million as the main founder. It's possible that based on the heavy lifting that the person is doing, they may likely get more shares than more equity than you. But again, at the early stage of founding the business, there's a lot of discussion that get to happen because the analysis are beyond financials. Because the truth is that the future of that startup is not known. Okay, so it's always recommended that, again, you should sit down with the investor and if possible with an expert who does the evaluation of the startup and so on before that happens. But again, it gets very tricky if the investor is coming to join you and you have not done anything significant. All you have is the idea. Like there are many political investors, all they have is the idea. They have not gone to the market, they have not produced anything yet, they never have a small customer base, they have not made any sale, there's nothing. So basically, they just have an idea and they want somebody else to come and fund the whole thing. And it gets very tricky at that particular area. And I was always recommended that do something, start something, validate something, go to the market first, start producing, start selling, just do something and have some data, have some track record. It increases your bargaining power when somebody is coming, you decide, okay, get 20%, get 15%, get 30%, whatever that you guys are agreeing upon is very significant and tangible for both parties and it's easily calculated. But if you have just the idea, also be ready to lose a lot of the equity because you cannot have just the idea and somebody is giving you all the capital and you expect the person to have just 5, 10, 15%. No, anybody in the right senses will likely ask for more than 50% because they also know that they're funding up basically everything. You get a point?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yes, Luanga.
Okay, thank you so much, Doc. This concept of idea validation, I wish to find out whether it is only the idea that we validate, or we can also validate market penetration strategies and maybe communication plans within our organizations. Do we validate only the idea, or we can validate other things?
Well,
And secondly, is there a difference between idea?
we lost you. Okay, we lost Luanga there. Sama, can you go ahead while we're waiting?
Hello, so good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, okay. Just in line with idea validation and the question Maxillus asks,
Yes.
I have this experience that I was trying to talk with somebody on business idea validation and all that, and then the person exposed to me a business that she had once started, but the supplier was really on a high note, and then she got another supplier, but then her capital was not enough.
Yes.
And so formally on the previous supplier, she just collects, sells, and then gives back just the profit. Gives back the money and then keeps the profit.
Yes.
So when the other supplier, when she had to leave the former supplier and got to a new supplier, she basically was trying to build up the capital. So she had not yet had enough capital to start up. And so I discussed with her, I did some findings, and it showed that the business was a good one. It's a business to sell white honey. And so she already has a customer base. People are already asking about it. If she gets started with it, she might make good money. My question now is, if I invest in that kind of business with the hopes that when we do the sales, she refunds the total capital and then continues with the business, how then will the profit or the dividends go? How then do we go about the dividends? Or I give the money and the money is business money.
Okay. It also depends. If you are giving the money as, because from what you explained is like giving her a loan, you don't want to be part of the business.
Okay.
Is that it?
Yeah, I was confused if I should do that or I shouldn't. If that is still part of investment.
No, that's a discussion that you guys need to have. An external party can hardly decide that for you. There are two ways to do that. Then you give her as a loan. I tell, okay, I'm giving you this money as a loan, and if I give you 100,000 francs or how much I'm giving you, every month you're going to pay me back 5% of the money as interest, right? That's another way to do it. Or I give you the money and we go on the business, meaning that at the end of each month or the end of quarterly or whatever time, we share all the profit of the business 40-60. You take 60, you take 40. Again, that's an agreement that only the two of you can talk about and come to a conclusion. Understood?
Hello?
Yes.
So it break. I didn't get you.
Where did you lose me?
I lose it. I lose at the point where you said we can discuss, and if I'm giving the person 100,000, talk about maybe 5% of the money coming back.
Yes, that's the first option. That's a loan, right? You give her and then you say, okay, every month you give me an interest of 10%, 5% of the amount I'm giving you. That's another way to do it. Another way to do it is, okay, let's go start the business, like our business. And you guys agree that every month you calculate the profit of the business and you take 40%, she takes 60%. And that could be the agreement that you guys can have. And then you sign the document. As I was saying again, that is a decision that only the two of you can take, whether to do the loan model or to co-own the business together.
All right, sir. Thank you. I was just trying to be clear on if giving the money is still part of investment or we are just loaning the money. They have understood. Thank you.
Okay, good. Yes, Mr. Rimsky.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
My question is, what if someone comes with an idea? The person brings up the idea to you, and both of you agree that you are going to, probably, let's put it this way: someone comes in an idea and you buy the idea, it's interesting. Then you both agree that you're going to take care of the technical aspect and the person is going to take care of the let's say the operation aspect. Then after a period of time, we notice that you have done your part completely. You've taken care of all the technical aspect that's supposed to be done, and the person is not doing their part. And at the end of the day, you are sponsoring the idea, you're sponsoring the technical aspect and still sponsoring the operation, but the person is not carrying out the activities as agreed on. Then you decide that you want to get someone else who has more experience or more expertise in order to push the business ahead. And at the end of the day, you still have to break out the dividends and share within everyone contributing. Like, what do you think if you're co-working with someone and the person doesn't want to share? They do not want to share, and they're not able to do the work. They're not qualified, or they don't have the skills to do the work. What do you think you can do?
That is a complicated situation, and that's why me, for example, I'm always very curious or sometimes worried about partnership, because a lot of people get to talk about partnership, but sometimes they are not ready to put in the work, and when the work is not there, but they're waiting for the day it's going to be successful for them to claim to be part of it. And again, I don't know if in that kind of case documentations were done from the beginning. But also, one thing that you can do is, in case documentations are done, one thing you can do is document how much you're investing to make the idea work, so that someday you can have the data to bargain. Because then there's no need of giving somebody 50%, 40%, or 80% or whatever of the company, and they're not putting in the work. It's possible you can take the person to court and prove that, look, this person didn't deserve to own this for the company. This is how much you invested to make the company work, and they didn't do anything. And the court can do the judgment, and whatever business law can be able to back up that.
Actually, there was no documentation. There was no signing of anything.
And that's another part. That's another thing now again, where if you want to be a typical rugged businessman, you can sit and go register the idea and kick him out of the business and focus on this idea as your own.
No, actually,
guys do that, right?
Yes, but actually what happened is I told the person to, because within a period of 6 months, you haven't done anything. Even 20, even 10% of what you agreed we would have done, then it means you're not competent. You can't actually get the job done. Even if they give you 1 year, you'll still be turning on the same spot. Yes. So I told the person to hold on, probably be an assistant or take another post, but let someone else lead the project and take it further. Then they would still have, then we should readjust the percentage that we talked on, and they should still have something. But at the end of the day, the person decided to break off and be a competitor.
Okay. So the person wants to break up and be a competitor.
Yes.
Then it's okay now. Then you guys will fight with strategy against strategy. Now that's funny, but sometimes it's just the egoistic nature of humans, because sometimes they now feel as if they're going to succeed better on their own. But again, it's just to watch them do their thing and you do your thing. Let the best man win. Simple. So exactly. Unfortunately, it's going on that way instead of coming together and making it work. Like, so I begin now to wonder, you're not able to commit in a team to make something work faster. How are you going to work alone and make it work? That's one. So it's just an egoistic nature again of some people, and who don't understand business dynamics. They do a lot of business or make a lot of decisions from the place of excitement, not from the place of analysis and data and that strong conviction of what they want to build.
Yeah, true. And lack of experience too.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Awesome. Yes, Kinyai.
Okay, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening, class. My question, I'm not exactly sure if it is from idea validation, but I
It's
don't
all
know if
right.
I
It's
can
all
just
right.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Yeah.
Okay, somewhere it is said that every part of your business should attempt or consider solving the customer's problem. So in a case where you provide a service or a good and the customer's demands violate some professional standards, I just want to know, do you please the customer and spoil your name, or you displease the customer and do what is supposed to be right
No,
professionally?
it's simple. Never break ethics in business. Never break ethics in business. Never break professional ethics. You can break professional ethics and it can cost you what you have been building for 10, 15 years or 5 years. The government can shut you down. There's nothing going to do that. Somebody can take you to court and shut you down. Customer can make a simple Facebook post and kills your business name. You get a point? There's no anything that is against the ethics of the industry where you operate. Don't go there. No matter how much, it's only one customer now out of 7 billion people. Why you want to kill your dreams and your business because of one human being?
Okay.
You understand?
Thank you.
Yes, Cameroon
Yes,
has
sir.
25 million people. Why do you want to let one at somebody who cannot respect principles and laws to kill your business? There's no argument about that one. It's like somebody, one of my friends who, not a friend, a follower of mine, but we talk, we are close, and I recommended him that he should enroll for Mini-MBA program, and he did not. I think I shared that in a group with you guys one time, and then he got a friend recommended him for a job with a top company, and they requested for another. So he thought that for him to compete better, he will need another certification that can increase his portfolio strength and so on. So he came back to me and was requesting me to issue him one of our executive certification programs, like a Mini-MBA program standard certification, or a professional executive diploma program that we do, and all of that in business. And I refused. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I don't care if they're paying me 500,000 because they're desperate. I am not. And trust Cameroonians. People come to me like that, like every week. They need fake certificate. They need to be certificate that they have not gone to school. They have not studied anything. All of that, frame marks and good and all of that. There's no need for me to do that and destroy what I've spent years to build, or not even that. If I do that, even if you are giving money, you'll forever lose respect for me because you know that you bribed me and I failed for it. Right? So in business, always stand on the side of ethics, always stand on the side of professional ethics and laws of the land, because those laws are bigger than you. If you mess up, they can shut you up and there's nothing you can do about it. Yes, Marceline, go ahead. Marceline, are you there? Abigail, go ahead. Secretary Abigail, go ahead.
Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening, Abigail.
Good evening to all the executives.
Who's talking? Is it Marceline or Abigail that is talking?
Not
Hello?
Abigail.
Okay, yes, Marceline, go
Good
ahead.
evening, Doctor.
Good evening.
Good evening to all the executives. My question is under idea validation. I just
We lost you. We're not getting you.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead. We lost you.
Good evening, Doctor, and to all the executives. My question is under idea validation.
Yes.
I just want to. I have this worry. What if I have an idea, I have a product that I want to bring to the market, but now I'm not financially viable. Okay, I think of doing something small, maybe in my community, beginning with a small provision, then later I may do a product.
Yes.
Do I still have to go through the process of validation business model?
Okay. Yes, you're talking about a lean startup, starting small before you expand. Yes, it's good to do that.
Yes,
And yes,
definitely.
because see, again, as I always say in business, that whatever you are putting money in and you expect that thing to grow and go places, never just start, because there's a lot more to business than buy and sell, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yes, definitely.
because one thing about idea validation is that it doesn't just open your mind to what the business can do today. It opens your mind to where the business can be 5, 10, 15 years from now. Right? So yeah, even if you want to
Yes.
do but it's just that the difference could be that the weight of your idea validation will not be the same like that of a bigger business or a business that is setting up fully, for example. So if you want to do, just for example, set up a small store in a quarter and start buying and selling dresses. Okay, just do a small idea validation. Okay, who are the kind of people in your quarter? Do you have more students around you? Do you have more housewives? Do you have more singles or married people around you? You know, just understand the kind of people around the market, understand the income level, so that what if tomorrow you want to have a clothing factory or whatever you want to do, at least you already know, okay, this is how Cameroonians look at clothing, or this is what they're willing to buy and pay for, and so on. Again, as you're saying, you are just starting small, so you expand tomorrow. And that's the more reason why you do the market idea validation and all of those market research and know that, okay, is it a good idea for me to start small and reinvest my money into it in the long run so I can build something sustainable? Is it relevant? Is it a good decision for me to do that? And you can only answer that question with data, with facts from the field that you have spent time to research and gather the proven results. Okay? Good. Yes, Executive Abigail.
Good evening, Doctor. Good evening, executives. Doctor, I'm actually also looking at that point where it says start on a small scale and get bigger over time.
Yeah.
It's a process. The process begins with what you have. Now, I'm looking at a scenario where I want to start a school. Then I'm looking at an area where there is no high school.
Yeah.
And after doing the validation and all that and looking at the Canvas model, I realized that yes, I would want to start on a small scale, but alone, looking at the number of students that are in that area, there are so many things that are needed before I start. And also looking at the time factor, you discover that if you don't put your idea into reality, then it means that someone might grab the opportunity fast.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask, Doctor, what is a better way to go? Is it to look for people who can invest into your idea, or is it better to look for partnership? And when you're looking at partnership, what kind of qualities are you looking at? Are you just going to get maybe someone because somebody is able to, to bring maybe money on the table? Or what are the things that are most important that I really need to to focus on so that I can get the idea into reality?
Yeah. Okay. That's a very good question. Yeah. The truth is that there are some ideas that for them to fully go functional, you will need partners or investors. Like, for example, the lady I'm working with, and she has passion to run a school, but she could not wait to have all the money to rent a big space at the school and pay teachers and all of that. So what we started working with her now is that she started a homeschool in her house where she gets students from her neighbors and all of that, and she charges a fee about $10,000, $10 to $15 every month, to $20 every month for that. Let's say 15,000, 10,000, so on. And you see, when she started having she now has almost 30-something kids that they pay. Imagine just take 10,000 francs, that 30-something kids, that's how much. Now, with that data now that she has, we are now helping her to talk to some potential partners and investors that, look, this lady has the skills, she has the leadership, she has the drive to start and run a school. All you need to do is provide the money, and she runs the school and you get the percentage of the profit every year. You get the concept? Now, when it comes to the modality of what we're looking for, number one is we're looking for people that understand how investment works. You don't want to get somebody who wants to give you money today and they take profits tomorrow. Okay. Right? You just really understand, okay, look, this is a school, it will need to get balanced like maybe after 7 years. And they are willing to wait for that 7 years and watch the school grow and turn the money they invested into multi-million investment return. Number two, you can go ahead and make sure that you want to look at somebody who has their beliefs as a person. You want to look at somebody who likes education, somebody who loves the community. You want to look at somebody who is passionate about children, for example. Yeah, people who do that. If you want to look for somebody who believes, who is a Christian or who is a Muslim or who has some strong values, who has integrity and honesty, and those things are very important in selecting an investor or a partner. You get the point?
Yes.
Yeah. So those things go, and then you guys have to agree. Okay, what are the terms? What are the partnership terms? Who is getting what percentage, and who is getting returns? When will you be sharing the profits? Will you share the profit every year, every after 2 years, or will you start sharing profit only after 5 years? So you invest and you wait till 5 years before you get any amount of profit. Again, that is just a discussion, and that's why you need to get an expert who can help you have the full discussion and create something that fits both you, the visionary executive, and the person coming as a partner or an investor. Understood?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Doctor.
Awesome. All right. Sorry, I muted everybody to reduce noise. Please, in a noisy area, mute yourself. Okay. Yes. Executive Umaru, go ahead.
Hello. Yeah, my question is a follow-up to what Executive Rimsky mentioned about the idea.
Yes.
Now, I don't know, in the business world, are there some ethical norms like copyright idea, that you can have an idea and you copyright it?
Okay. Yes, the truth is that in every sector, number one, every industry has ethics and professional rules and regulations. Apart from that, there are general business laws established by the governments of every land or every country. And it's your job for you to know that. Then after that, look at the industry ethics. And the truth is that in this particular dispensation, anything that is a new idea that's very innovative, of course, you can take it to ORP, or you can just make sure that it is safe, it is preserved and protected. If you think that it's so innovative and you want to make it go places, I don't want people to steal it anyhow. But especially in engineering, people do a lot in engineering and design and all of that. That's why you keep seeing battles between Samsung and iPhones and Toyota and this and that, because the engineers design things and that's another engineer redoing the thing in another company. If it was not registered or protected, people can easily steal and use it, and you don't get to benefit anything. Meanwhile, there are some patterns that are some designs that when people are using it, they are making money, because for every one item they produce with that particular technology or idea, they give you a percentage from it, right?
So, yeah. So theoretically, you can have a copyright to an idea.
Yes, you can. You can do an idea and you can go protect it, have a copyright for it.
Okay.
Yes, you can. You can go register it and they give you a certificate that this is you, this is your concept, this is your idea. Okay. Yes, Mr. Alphonse. Bertian, go ahead.
Good evening, Doctor.
Okay, good evening, Alphonse. Go ahead.
Good evening to all executives. Yeah, this comes from the business idea validation.
Mm-hmm.
it all seems to be making very good sense to me regarding products.
Yes.
But for me, I am in the service industry.
Yes.
And I am in the electrical engineering sector, and there's a lot of competition in this industry, especially here in South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
The industry has been well structured, but yet I don't know if I am the one failing to upskill, or is it because of the kind of industry we are in? Because first of all, getting into business, I did not have any idea how it has to go about.
Mm-hmm.
People have always advised that we need to maintain a certain standard of work, and it's been working for me quite well. But now, after the few lessons that we've had, I now think there should be a way to upskill, or rather say to improve, to get more customers.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is not like a product where we have to maybe change the design, the branding and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know from you, is there any particular or any best way that we can maybe grow bigger, get more customer base and things like that?
Yeah. Okay, let me start by saying when I use product, see, product doesn't mean that it's tangible. A service is a product. You understand? A service is a product.
Yes.
So when we're doing training like this, when I use a lot of product, don't exclude service. Anything that is solving a problem, whether it's tangible or intangible, is a product. Right? This training, this Mini-MBA is a product of BMD Africa. You get the concept? So in many cases, it's the same principle. The major difference that separates a tangible and intangible product is how it is delivered. The delivery. That are the major has that, for example, I'm able to deliver this service with you from Cameroon, and you're following from South Africa. Now I'm able to use this and I deliver it. But if it's like food stuff, I need to go to the airport or seaport and send to you, and it takes time. You get a difference? So don't always exclude that service and all of that. Now, as you said, you actually answered part of your question, because one thing about intangible service is people place a lot of value on how it is delivered, how that particular service is delivered. And also, it may not be the issue of upskilling. It could just be the issue of you increasing your marketing strategies in acquiring more customers. When we're going to have a session on customer acquisition, you're going to see how that works. Because sometimes your skills may be up to date with the value that you're creating through your service may be excellent, but you have issues with customer acquisition. Or maybe you have to enlarge your market. Maybe you're competing in a red ocean. You're competing in a small market. Maybe have you tried to venture into new markets, bigger market, or go to new cities and new towns and so on. So there are a lot of things that can lead to all of that. And what I can say is that as we go through the program, you'll be able to say, okay, maybe this is where you're having challenges and having issues and so on. It could also just be the issue of the team. Maybe the team is not well balanced. Because it's possible to have a team of maybe more engineers and you don't have a lot of business developers and marketers on your team. There are people that can design stuff. There are people that can produce stuff, but you don't have people that can sell it, or people that can, how do I say, market it, people that can influence people to buy. You get a challenge? So there are many things to look at before you decide whether what is happening that you are not able to produce profitable results like you would like to do. So look at other elements like I've mentioned and see where there are challenges.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Yes, Betian. Ethan, go ahead.
I wanted to ask a question on brand leadership, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. What can I do at my small startup to achieve brand leadership in the coming 5 or 10 years in the Cameroon economy?
What can you?
What can I do with my small startup to achieve brand leadership in the Cameroon economy, maybe in the coming 5 or 10 years?
Okay. Yes, one thing about brand leadership is long term. I like how you're saying it. Nobody builds a brand in a few months or 1 year and so on. Because for those who don't know, brand leadership is the kind of authority you command in an industry, right? So if you run, let's say you run a tech company in Cameroon or in South Africa or where you are, and the brand leadership could be that, okay, in the next 10 years, will you be among the top 10 companies, top 10, 5 innovative companies in that industry in your country or in your city and so on. One thing about brand leadership is long-term. Think long-term. It takes a while to build the kind of brand leadership that people like Microsoft, Facebook, Dangote, they command. It takes years, 30 years, 25 years, 15 years. So, and the second thing is consistent innovation. You need to always be consistently leading your industry and creating new things. Like if you look like the companies that are leading in the various industries, they're always a step ahead when it comes to creating new stuff for the industry, right? So it's very important. And the next thing is marketing. How to proper marketing and positioning in the market is very important. How do you market? How do you tell the story of what you're creating? How do you market it? How do you position the work that you do that proves that you are a thought leader, you're a leader in that sector as far as that industry is concerned. So when you do these things, and of course you are creating a lot of, how do I say, your team, for example, they're doing a lot of write-ups and policies and writing books, things like that, that other upcoming professionals can read and try to emulate. That's why I look at these top companies. Their leaders write a lot of books. They write a lot of documents, policies, papers, blog posts, and so on. Because for you to be a brand leader, command brand leadership, it means that you know a lot of things that many other people do not know. So, and the best way to do that and to prove that you are an authority in that sector is for you to share the things that you know that others do not know. Right? Yeah, so these are a couple of things you can do, and trust me, in a few years you'll be at the top of your game. Yes, for me. Mr. Rimsky, go ahead. Unless Faminian is letting us.
Okay, my question goes as if you're building a product which one of the key products in that product is customer service and experience, like how do you get to design the customer service and experience to actually give the quality that you desire of that product?
Yeah.
Okay.
That depends on the team, right? Because customer experience is created, only humans can create customer experience. So systems around customer experience are useless if the team cannot execute that customer experience. And that's why when you look at when people recruit customer experience officers, customer relationship officers, customer happiness officer, and so on, they try to pay a lot of attention to their natural talents, like their smile, like how warm they are, how they love people naturally, how they desire to help people, right? These things are important in having creating a good customer experience, because then it is in the people. Don't just recruit any kind of person. And when you recruit them and you're able to have a training program that can show them, teach them how to leverage on these their natural talents to do the work that you want them to do, then the customer experience system or policies you have in place, they will easily execute it, leading to a good success of the business.
Okay.
Yes. That's why, like, for example, if you've noticed, like in Cameroon, there are some companies that they like to recruit just black girls to do marketing, right? It's a reason. Yeah. There are some that likes to do tall girls, for example. So it's all part of that they do to see how they can ensure that there is some level of success in that particular. So, but when you get that right and you do the right training and you have good policies that can be executed, you always get customer experience the right way. Like for example, you know, for people that sell like coffee in Starbucks, those who know Starbucks, example, they pay a lot of attention to your attitude, how agile and excited, how you smile, how you love to serve people and all of that. And you know, when you go to get coffee, just the way they welcome you, the warmness, how they're excited, the broad smiles that they wear on their faces, all of that just makes you they sell more than coffee, as it's like to say. They sell a feeling, they sell an experience. Right?
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Awesome. Yes, Famenya, are you there?
Yes. Good evening, Doctor.
Good evening.
And good evening, fellow executives. Doctor, my question is on business idea validation.
Yeah.
It's based on question 11, which we talked about. That if you want to launch a product in the market, you should first check about the target market.
Yes.
The budget or the salary of the people who are in that area that agree to consume your products.
Yes.
And for instance, what I wanted to find out from you is that, as in my own area here, if I'm going to launch a new product, which I'm about to do it, and I found out that the market or the target market in my area can be able to afford that product. Then when it comes in expansion, where I want to go to other areas where the income is a little bit lower.
Yes.
What am I going to institute? For instance, now, if I need to go maybe to other rural areas, if I need to go to other countries, which have a low level of income, what am I supposed to do? Am I first of all, am I going to start to validate the target market in those areas before coming to where I am or where I'm going to launch a product, or what must I do? Because sometimes it's a little bit confusing. When you want to go now, they call something in economics, when I used to study in secondary school, they call dumping. Yeah. So are we going to, if we're going to dumping, are we still going to be able to make the profit that we're going to do? We are here and so on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, very true. You know, there are many things that can validate that or make that to happen. And it is one thing I can recommend is, if you want to venture into a new market, one thing you can do is you can decide to create a product in levels, or you can look at, because sometimes the size of the market or the income of the people can only afford the quality they are willing to, because you can sell an expensive market because they want top quality, right? And you can go to a market with lower income and you decide to, because the cost of production is what increase the quality and what increase the price that you sell. So maybe you can say, okay, no, okay, in this market, they can only afford, that's why, like, you know, some people produce products in different qualities and different quantities, right? You can buy, like iPhones, for example. You can buy iPhone that has 500 gig and so on. There's iPhone 13 that has qualities that are more expensive. And there's iPhone 13 that has lower qualities. Have you noticed that? So that is intentional. It's the one of the main reason they do that is so they can accommodate more people who can fit into buying their product. So you can go to a rural area, yes, you can decide and create and design a product that fits their income level, which will still give you profit. And in your main market or your other markets where the income level can finance your original product, you can maintain that. But if you want to meet more people, that you want to satisfy the upper class, the middle class, and so on, then it's also your responsibility as an executive, a business person, to create different products that can fit the different class of people. Understood? Or again, you can still decide and focus on just one class. Like, for example, Lamborghini. They don't produce for everybody. It's for the top class, simple. The other people can die. Right? but look at Toyota, for example. From Toyota Vitz to Toyota Runs to Toyota Prado to Toyota that cars for 100 million even. But in Cameroon, there are still scammers who can buy a car for 1.2 million.
Yeah.
Right? So they're able to fit all these various markets at the same time. But again, as I was saying, there's now this Lamborghini or Ferrari that are just at the top. They don't care about you guys down here. You see? So you can also decide, look at, okay, and is this something you want to do? Because it's also a personal business policy. That I was sharing with you guys the other time, like Gucci, for example. Gucci made business in 1 year and they had leftover products and they didn't want to take it to the next year. And the board member proposed that they should dash it to the poor. Others refused that, no, if we give this to the poor, it's going to defeat our business policy of selling what? Luxury. What happened? Gucci burnt all the materials and they gave it to the poor. Because their business policy or their business strategy is to sell luxury items to the top class people. Right? Good. And again, that is still your decision for you to make whether, okay, are you going to break it down to feed different people? You're going to focus on a particular class of people and it's still business. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Yes, Executive Umaru.
Hello. Yeah, a question arises from the communication of the previous executives.
Yes.
When you're doing idea validation, do you focus on solving the current problem, or you can also be solving a problem that the customers or the particular group of people might face? For example, I took a course whereby they said in times of problems that you also cited, in times of crisis, there are opportunities for business ideas and innovations.
Yeah.
So can you be developing your idea validation based on a current crisis? You anticipate the solutions that might be potential after that crisis?
Yeah. Yeah, it's possible. And it's also possible that you can be designing, you can be doing idea validation around a particular problem. And in the process of the idea validation, you discover another problem which can be a business opportunity for you. Right? And it's also possible that while doing idea validation for a particular problem, you can abandon the original problem you thought you had and you discover a better market with a better problem, with a better solution than the original one that you had. There's also that possibility. You get the concept? So yes, it's good to be that agile and to be open. And it's the same for you to start doing idea validation and discover, oh, this is the future of this business. The way that I can start solving this problem right now, which is good, but I'm seeing that in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I will switch this business to this particular business because this problem will start arising for me to make it my main business problem. Clear?
It's clear.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Rimsky.
Okay. Is it okay to use this forum for an idea validation? Most probably sharing a product or something you've worked on or you're working on for other executives to kind of validate, or probably share a questionnaire for other executives to field and you tap out data from there? Is it possible and is it allowed?
Please take it over again.
Okay, my question is that, is it allowed to use this forum, the Mini-MBA forum, to like, we're working on different products. We're working on a product, and would probably love to use this forum to actually validate the idea, because this is still, I think some of the products we are producing, this is still our market. So I'm asking if it is allowed to interact with other executives in order to validate a product or service, or even sell a product or service to other executives here.
Yes, please. It is allowed, because it's also going to promote the idea or the business concept and so on. So yes, of course, it's allowed. You can do that. As long as it's a business related to you, the executive, there's nothing wrong with that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other question? We have done interesting chit chat so far. Wow. Yes, Marcellus.
Okay, greetings once more. Please, Doctor, I want to find how we can gather the various data, because as of now, I'm just thinking of gathering data through Google Forms. So are there other methods one can use to gather data to go on with the process of idea validation?
Well, it isn't really about the method. It is about who you want to get data from. You can still get data from calls. You can still get data from talking people face to face. If you can use Google Form if the people you're targeting are on the internet. It depends who do you want to get data from. That's the most important question to ask. Then the who determines the maker.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, coming in, go ahead. See your hand up again. You're on mute. I don't know if you're talking.
Sorry. Good evening, Doc.
Yes.
And good evening, fellow executives. There was a question that you asked on number 17 about business idea validation.
Yes.
About that we should, on our business, how are we with a team of partners, providers, regulators, and manufacturers? When, for instance, in a situation like this that we are in, some of the suppliers are from overseas, and the goods, the prices they've gone a little bit up because of the shipment and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. How is it possible for us? Because here in our continent, it's a little bit difficult to have other alternatives as the raw products of our products. Mm-hmm. So how can we, make plan B in terms of importing from overseas, because the prices have gone up almost since the January. The price have gone up about thrice. As the petrol prices goes up, the prices also for shipment also increases.
Yeah.
So, and also as the price also increases, the price of our goods and of our products have increased.
Yeah.
But now we are having difficulties now with our customers, mm-hmm. because our target market is a little bit fluctuating now. So how do we avoid these circumstances from our providers?
Yeah. Well, the truth is
those that are actually providing us with the raw materials and some of the products from overseas.
The truth is that you cannot avoid that. There's nothing you can do about it, because you cannot control it. It's inflation. So a lot of bigger things are causing that to happen. And the only thing you can do from your end as a businessman is for you to keep seeing how you can manage that with your customers? Are you going to transfer the cost of doing that to your customers? And some customers are going to stop buying because it's expensive. Are you going to focus on the customers that can keep affording and all of that? Because you cannot go and tell a shipping company to reduce the price of shipping, right? So, so you need to focus just on you. And maybe, for example, what other costs can you reduce in your whole process? Apart from the shipping costs, look at anything. Can you reduce anything? Like, for example, I'm not saying you go and do that, but of course, we have seen companies do that, where sometimes when costs increase in another area and the final product is expensive, they can go to reduce customer salaries, or they can go lay off some people so that they don't want to increase the cost of the selling price, or they don't want to over increase the selling price too much to the customer. So you can find better ways to, which other extra costs can you reduce from your process that can minimize the final selling price to your customers, right? Or you decide and continue transferring the heavy cost to the customers, and you focus on acquiring more customers who can afford what you're selling, and stop focusing on customers who are going away because you're expensive. Yeah. While hoping that, okay, in the long run, things are going to get back to normal or as they used to be, because inflation has dropped down, challenges that lead to fuel increase and all of that has reduced, which gets you back to normal. Yeah. So that's one thing in business that sometimes gets us frustrating, when some challenges start happening, which are beyond you, which are more global, more policy driven than operations driven, than strategy driven. So you need to find other ways to get internal operations tech, and you can fight that and battle with that, while also looking at the advantage that you can gain from other areas.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. All right. If there's no other question, we can say that is it for today. I recorded the session. I will share in the group in case you want to go through very intelligent questions, incredible questions. And I hope you got some value. And of course, see you guys tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. as we venture to the next module. As we keep driving this, I'll be announcing our first business wars very soon, where teams go against teams, strategy against strategy, policy against policy. So you guys should get ready with your teams for that. I'll share that. Again, there are practical business cases. I'm going to take a business challenge that's happening around the world, in Africa, in Cameroon, maybe published by a business magazine or a business newspaper, and I'll give it to you as this, and then I give you questions, pick around it, and we get to work with a business world. So it's going to be very, very practical, very, very real, right? And sometimes when we have a chance, I always invite somebody from that company to come and join the Zoom session and see how you guys are diagnosing their company and recommending solutions and strategies, how they can become better. So get ready for that. Very, very exciting. And see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. Cheers.